Sai, our Indweller, Guide and Protector. By Mrs. Mary Ann Meyer. Where do you come from? Swami asked my husband innocently in his sweet and loving voice. Denmark, Swami, was his answer, just as he always responded to questions from Swami on innumerable occasions, ever since our first visit to Puttaparthi in 1981. We always wondered what Swami's intentions were in asking that question because he always addressed us as Denmark whenever he called us for an interview. Then, one day, Swami asked a 5 or 6 years old young schoolboy sitting next to my husband on the mandir veranda, "Where do you come from?" His big brown eyes beamed with joy as he looked up at Swami and answered confidently, "From you, Swami." "Good boy," Swami remarked. Aha! My husband thought, this is the right answer to that question. "Now, Swami, I am ready for you." Almost the very next moment, Swami came up to him, as if he heard his thoughts, and asked, "And where do you come from?" "From you, Swami," was my husband's proud response. With a gentle smile, Swami corrected him, saying, "No, no. From Denmark." Of course, everybody had a good laugh. The way Swami teaches us is profound. He makes us wonder, reflect, and even laugh whenever he interacts with us. He enlightens us in the interview room or in the darshan lines so that the lessons get ingrained in us and stay with us forever. As we reflect on these innocent and somewhat casual remarks of Swami, we develop new understanding, and sometimes we also realize that he answers profound spiritual questions that were important and intricate through them. Baba's simple and innocent questions, in fact, make us go within and intuitively find the answer there. At the same time, during or after answering important spiritual questions, he would suddenly change the atmosphere and connect with us in a familiar and intimate way, sometimes as a dear family member. He would reveal to us that he had been present at our family events, and like a grandfather, he would share what had happened. With his unique humor, he would imitate the expressions and words exactly as we used them in our family setting. Thus, he would convey that he knew everything and that he was always with us, watching over us. The Lord who takes care of everything, big and small. During our first visit in 1981, Swami gave my husband his robe along with his guidance to start the Satya Sai International Organization of Denmark upon our return. Later, in 1987, he urged us to form the first institute of Satya Sai education outside India. He continuously guided and advised us, making necessary changes to our plans. To understand his directions, we had to stay alert and engaged, letting go of all expectations. Then he took care of every small detail in his own divine, enigmatic way. For instance, in 1982, we came to visit him with our 7-year-old son, who refused to eat the spicy food in the South Indian canteen. He would protest saying, "I do not like this." Since there was no Western canteen at that time, in frustration, we said, "But what do you want to eat?" Prompt came his answer, "French fries," not realizing that my question was a rhetorical one. However, Swami seemed to have taken note and answered my son's innocent demand. The following day, we were amazed to see that they served French fries in the South Indian canteen. Not only that, but they continued to do so for the rest of our stay. We had never seen this happen in the South Indian canteen before, or at any time since then. Such is Swami's grace and compassion. On another occasion, we had multiple leaks in the bathroom of our flat in Prashanti Nilayam. I just called out, "Oh, Swami, we need a plumber." It was a spontaneous cry for help. Before my husband could call for a plumber, within minutes, there was a knock on the door. It was a plumber. With a smile, he asked, "You called?" This shows he hears all our prayers. Swami, physician par excellence. Once, I had a dream where I was calling out to Swami, and he was warning me about an impending illness. I woke up with an upset stomach, with the symptoms of dysentery. At darshan, Swami walked past me without even looking at me. Then, suddenly, he turned around and gave me a direct, penetrating look. At the very moment when he looked into my eyes, the illness suddenly disappeared. In 1983, just before our departure from the ashram, our son developed a very high fever. My husband decided to take him to the hospital while I finished packing. Suddenly a volunteer, Seva Dal, came to our door with the message that Swami wanted to see us. We had hardly arrived at Swami's door when he came out and said, "Denmark, come." Inside, Swami's first remarks were, "Why are you going to the hospital when I am here?" My husband started explaining, but Swami just smiled and held our son's hand, saying, "He is fine, nothing is the matter with him. No fever. Feel it for yourself." Later our son told us that the moment Swami held his hand, he got well and felt cool and happy. In another instance, due to a work-related injury, I developed a joint disease in my spine. I was confined to bed for long periods and suffered intense pain. Though it was very difficult to travel to India, I somehow managed to visit Swami many times. During one of our visits, Swami came to me quietly during darshan and bhajans, stood right before me, and looked intensely into my eyes. He stood still for quite some time, and after a while, I miraculously felt a warmth surging up my spine. When he turned around and walked away, my intense pain had completely disappeared. After returning home, X-rays showed that the cartilage between the joints had healed and improved. On one occasion, Swami was distributing sweets to the ladies, and everybody around me stretched out their hands to receive one from his divine hands. When he came to me, he did not give me a sweet. Instead, he looked at me sweetly and said, "Always smile." The disappointment of not getting a sweet from him instantly became a valuable lesson because his smile and the energy he transmitted to me touched my heart and lifted me up. I understood that he had something more precious to give me. I found these priceless moments of interaction immensely valuable and transformative. He is the indweller and guide. Many a time, he asked us, "What do you want?" It was a simple question to make us think and reflect on our desires and expectations in life so that, eventually we would realize the goal of our lives. He redirected our focus from an outer vision to an inner vision. But irrespective of our answer to his question, he blessed us to fulfill our needs at that moment. I never thought that the time would come when he would no longer move among us. He had asked me in the later years, "What do you want?" I replied, "Your love, Swami." "My love? Why do you want my love? I am in your heart." His reply reminded me that it was foolish to seek him outside. He clearly confirmed that I would be able to find him in my heart. The heart is where we can find him when we need his presence, his guidance, and his reassurance. Thus, he prepared me for the time when he would no longer be physically present among us. Coming to Swami was the beginning of the journey that completely changed our lives. From the very first visit, he blessed us with interviews and intimate interactions. Through his loving guidance, he inspired us to walk the spiritual path. Finally, he led us to the point where we understood what he had really come to give us and why he descended on earth. He came to share his selfless love and to inspire us to open our hearts and embrace the world through the higher principle of universal love. Mrs. Mary Ann Meyer.